What's up, beautiful geeks? Welcome to another iGeek Soccer review video, and today we're going to be talking about this guy. This is the New Balance Tekela V3 Pro FG. We're going to unbox it and we're going to talk about it in detail. And maybe while we're reviewing it, we'll drink some tequila as well. I'm just kidding, I don't drink. But anyway, I do review videos like this every single Monday. So if you want to see cool videos like this every single Monday, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss a thing. If you like the video, thumbs up. If you have any question, leave a comment in the comment box below. I'll try to answer it to the best of my ability. And I'm talking, let's get the review video started. And let me go grab, oh, almost knocked myself out there. Let me go grab some tequila so we can get started. No tequila, but let's get started.
Take the west side, take on the east. I'ma put them in the cage, never let out the.
Okay guys, so before we get into a detailed review of the shoes, first let's talk about what comes in the box. It's a regular New Balance box, nothing special here. At least this is what I've come to know as the regular New Balance box. In the box, you have one pair of shoes. You have shoe number one here. And then you have a shoe hunt. I have a collection of shoe hunt, but this is my first shoe hunt from New Balance. So this is going to a special place. But you have one shoe hunt, and I can see why they put a shoe hunt in there, because this shoe is going to be hard to put on. We're going to try it on, but need I say more? It has a color, a dynamic fit color. I'm going to call it a dynamic fit color. I know it's not Nike, but it's normally hard to put on the shoes when they have a dynamic fit color. Okay, so you have the second pair of second shoe here. You have a shoe number two. Same thing, looks very similar, nothing different there. And you have nothing else in the box, no string bag or anything. This is my third pair of shoes from New Balance. The first one I got when they first announced that they were gonna start making soccer shoes. Did not like it. I think I said that about the review of the Furon that I did last week. The second one is the Furon. The third one is the Tekela. But no string bag. It would have been nice to get a string bag from them. But I mean, they're really coming out with really nice shoes these days, so we'll see. So that's pretty much all that comes in the box. You have one pair of shoes, shoe hunt, no string bag. So now let's get the review video started. Okay guys, so before we get into a detailed review of the shoes, let's first talk about the colorway and different logo positioning on the shoes. The colorway is pretty straightforward. The colorway is very similar to this guy right here, which is the Furon, which is what we reviewed last week. If you haven't seen that review, link is in the description box below. I'm going to be bringing this guy in just to kind of say some of the things that I like here and some of the things that I don't like here. It's not really a comparison, but just to kind of, you know, because this is the control boot for New Balance. I mean, this is the speed boot for New Balance, and this is the control boot for New Balance. Pretty much very close to being the same price. So I'm gonna be bringing this in to kind of do a little bit of like, I like this and I don't like that kind of thing. So the colorway is pretty similar to this, except on this guy, on the Tekela, it's a little bit darker. On the Furon, it's a little bit lighter. The blue is lighter. It's not really light, but the blue is a lot less darker than it is here. So the colorway is very similar. As you can see, outsole, upper, everything is very similar. On this guy, the blue is a little bit darker. You have orange call out there on these things that are going on here. You have the New Balance call out, the New Balance call out here, the Tekela call out here. And of course, you have the New Balance call out and a little bit of lines, stripes of lines there on the back. On the bottom, as I said, very similar to the Furon. You have orange, like blue, all out so blue, and then you have sprinkle of orange. And then of course, on the tips, you have like a bit of orange going on there. On the insole, you have orange call out there, which says, of course, Tekela, and I think it says something infinite grip, something like that. I think that's the grip technology that New Balance has. And of course, it's dark gray, again, very similar to the Furon over here. So as far as the colorway, on the inside, of course, you have orange going on there on the heel counter section. And then on the midsole is white, of course, but it's kind of orange all on the inside there. So as far as colorway go, that's pretty much all you get for the shoes. You have a blue and orange shoes, pretty straightforward. And that's one of the reasons why I love the Furon, is because the color was simple, but it stands out. It's simple, but it stands out. So the upper. So now that we've talked about the colorway, let's talk about the upper. The upper is a bit different from what I'm used to. For one, it feels very stiff to me. Again, this is one of the problems that I had with the original New Balance that I got, was the stiffness. Now, I'm not gonna say it's as stiff as the first one that I got. It's a little bit flexible, but that's the first thing that I noticed when I played with it. I was like, oh, this is a little bit stiffer than even the Furon, right? The Furon, it's not stiff at all. It's very nice. You can tell it's a knitted upper. It feels nice. You touch it, it has a nice pushback to it. It just feels right. It feels like a knitted upper. With this guy, even though it is a knitted upper, it's a stretch knit upper. That's what New Balance is calling it. Oh, funny thing, so I gotta say this. I was watching when I was getting the shoes, I was watching the specs on it. And then there was something on it that New Balance says it's algorithm driven knitted upper. It made me laugh because I mess with computers. So it makes me think that the marketing people like are sitting in the room and then they're like, how do we get these people? Let's tell them that we connect it, put some algorithm into it, so it's algorithm driven. But yeah, that was funny to me. I don't know if you find it funny, but I thought it was funny. Anyways, let's get back to the review. So the whole idea New Balance said here is algorithm driven upper that allows you to control the ball better. But to me, it feels stiff. It feels like it's gonna take some time for your feet to get used to it. I haven't tried it on yet. It's gonna take some time. It's gonna take some breaking a little bit for you to just kind of be comfortable with the shoes, because the upper is just a little bit stiffer than what I'm used to on other shoes, or even on the Furon itself. Now, going into a little bit of more detailed review of the shoes. Now, they have what they call, I forgot what they call it. They call it the hyponet or hyponeat upper. It's very similar to the Nike Flyknit upper, so the same concept of you have something like wiring going on around the shoes. Now, if you look at it a little bit closer, you can see the similarity. So in Nike, when you have a Flyknit upper, you see the wires that go from the bottom to the top of the shoes, or the bottom to the lacing area, to the bottom to the lacing area, to the bottom to the lacing area. So when you pull it, it gives you that one piece of feel. So New Balance is here what they call a hyponeat. It's very similar. So in reality, you can see this little these little wiggly lines here that looks like wire, right? Like it looks like a little wire, very similar to the concept of the Nike Flyknit upper. You have this little line, except you don't pull it. It just helps keep you in place. And I think that's where the stiffness comes from, because you have this kind of little bit of wiring concept going around the shoes, which you can really see because it looks like a vein. So if you were to squeeze your hand, you have your vein going around all of your body. For those of you guys that have, I don't have a word vein, but for those of you guys that can see your veins, when you squeeze your hand, you can see your veins. So the same concept here. You have this vein-like Flyknit. It's not a really Flyknit upper, but a hypoknit thing going on all around the shoes here to help really kind of hold your feet in place, to help really kind of give you that one piece upper feel. But again, I love the concept of it. I love the idea that theirs is a bit different from Nike's, but it just feels a little bit stiff to me. It makes the upper a little bit stiff, and it has like this kind of 3D look to it as well that is popping out of the shoes. Which again is similar to Nike's Flyknit upper, because the Flyknit upper normally on the shoes you can see the lines going from the bottom to the top. So it's very similar to the Flyknit upper. It's nice, but it just feels a little bit stiffer to me. So you have that on the upper, you have the hypoknit on the upper. Another thing that I noticed again on the upper, because it's a Flyknit upper, this the color here, I don't want to call it a dynamic fit color because it's not Nike, but it's very resemblant to the dynamic fit color. You have this color that goes all the way up here. One of the things that this tells me is that this shoe is going to be a pain to put on. And that's the case for all dynamic fit colors, not just for the New Balance. I'm not singling out New Balance, saying that New Balance has a dynamic fit color and it's going to be hard to put on, but that's the case for every dynamic fit color, right? It's extremely hard to put on. It's extremely hard to take off, and that's why you have the shoe hunt to help put it on. But it's very stretchy, it's very elasticy, it's very nice, it feels very well, and I love the way it feels here. It has like this little bit pointiness there on the back here, which I don't think it's going to be any problem. But again, it's very resemblant to the Nike dynamic fit color, except there's the way theirs looks like this a little bit, where Nike's is like a little bit grippier. It's like a little bit tighter on the upper here, but theirs kind of have this little shape here. I'm not sure. We're gonna try it on, and I'm sure it's gonna land perfectly on my feet, but it just kind of give me a bit of curiosity when you have that there. But I don't think that's gonna be any sort of problem at all. And on the inside as well, one of the things that I noticed on the inside, you have kind of like this double layer, right? So on the inside, you have the first layer of the boot itself, which is the upper, the Flyknit upper, the stretchy knit upper, the hypo knit upper. And then here you have some kind of enclosure, right? So you have like a double, you have this guy and then you have this elastic thing here, which goes all the way inside actually, because if you see, I'm putting my finger in there right now, and you can tell there's two materials because my finger is in between the materials right now, right? So you can tell there's two material, and the whole idea of this, I'm assuming, is to really help keep your feet in place. So what I like about it is that even though you have this upper, right, you have this knitted upper, you have this elastic looking color here, which helps kind of just first level hold your feet in place. Inside you have something that's extremely tighter too, this guy, right, that really kind of just help the main part of your feet. It helps keep it in place, while at the top it gives it that flexibility, so it's not all in one. So you have the lower part of your feet being held in place tight, so you're able to move around and don't really feel anything moving in there. But it gives your ankle, it gives this part of your feet here, your ankle area, a little bit more flexibility because it's not really joined to what's in the inside, the second layer of the shoes. That's pretty cool. That's pretty nice, and I like that concept a lot. I can't wait to try it on. We're gonna try it on, of course, and I'm gonna tell you guys how it feels. But as far as the upper go, and then of course you have this guy. This is one of the things that I wanted to talk about. I almost skipped that there. This is one of the things I want to talk about. So when I'm looking at it, right, I'm looking at this guy right here, this things and this design, this 3D-ish thing design that you have here. If you look at it very closely, you can see that it has like, it looks like a stitch. It looks like a threaded material going from here to here to here. And then on top of that, you have some kind of synthetic material that's been put on top of it. Very same concept as the hypo knit upper. You can tell that there's something going on here. And on top of it, of course, they put some kind of synthetic material on top of it. So except for this guy, when you get a little bit closer and you take a look at it, you can see the stitch, you can see the threaded material inside of it. And then you can tell that something is just laid on top of it. Of course, this is what New Balance meant by, you know, algorithm driven, you know, because they've tested it, they've plugged the shoes in, they've tested the algorithm. I'm just kidding. Listen, man, if you suck at soccer, the boot is not gonna make you better. The boot is only there to help you play better. It doesn't make you a better player. It just helps you play better. But if you suck, it helps you play better, but you still suck. If you're good, it helps you play better, and it helps make you controlling the ball and dribbling easier. Yeah, it makes it easier in terms of like when the ball comes, the ball's on your feet, you have a better movement and control of it, but it doesn't improve your skills. You're gonna have to work on that, right? So don't listen to this marketing BS that these people always say. Always try to buy something that you feel you're comfortable with. That's the moral of the story. So yeah, you have that's as far as the upper go, that's pretty much all you get for the upper. You have this hypo knit upper, the knitted upper. You have this 3D design. The hypo knit is the whole concept of the wires, or I don't know if they call it wires, but the things that you see going on here, very similar to Nike Flyknit upper to help give you that one piece upper feel. And then you have this little design here for better ball control, but also for better ball striking. It's mostly right here and in here, which are kind of like the striking area for most people, and in the forefront as well. And then you have this elastic upper. And again, as I said, the other thing that the elastic color. And again, as I said, the other thing I like about it is the interior, where you have this double tick on it. You have another elastic section here that really help keep your feet in place. As far as the upper of the shoes go, guys, that's pretty much all you get for it. But again, the one thing that I don't like about it is the fact that it's a little bit stiff. Then that's because of the whole hyper knit upper design of it. It's like they have this wire going on, and then they have this synthetic stuff laid on top of it. So as far as the upper go, that's pretty much all you get for the upper. Let's move a little bit to the inside of the shoes. Now the inside of the shoes, just like the Furon, one of the things that I wanted to say as well is that to compare this and this is very soft, right? This is not too soft. This is stiff. This is the Speedboat. This is the Furon, the Speedboat, very soft, feel very nice, feel very beautiful. This one feels very stiff a little bit. It's gonna require a little bit of breaking time. And that's the difference between the two, and that's the difference that I noticed as soon as I took it out of the box. Okay, so let's talk about the inside of the shoes. So the inside of the shoes, one of the things that I like about the Fuel Run and the inside of the Fuel Run, this guy, was that the heel area is very well padded, and it's the same concept of the Tekela here. The inside is extremely well padded. It feels very good, and I love that about it. And as I said, it's the little things when you have like a double layer here, help keep your feet in place. You have this really nice cushioning feel here. You play with the shoes longer. You enjoy having the shoes on a little bit longer. So kudos to them for doing that. I'm giving them credit for that again on this one. Very well padded, very well done there. And I appreciate that. The inside, I've already shown you guys there, the double take there. You have another elastic section here that is that's different from the upper of the shoes, and it really does help keep your feet in place when you are playing. And it's different from the color itself. So you have like this double take, as I said, that holds your feet down, but then gives you a little bit of flexibility to move around, especially on the upper color section of the shoes. On the inside, the insole is of course removable. I've already removed it, I've showed you guys. Same color as the Fuel Run, light gray, light gray color. There you have the Tekela call out, and then you have this thing on it that says infinite grip. So I'm guessing that's their grip technology that they have on it. I don't see anything special here except for this line, so I'm assuming it's the same concept as the Nike grip, where like if you're running around, this coincides with the things on the bottom of the insole here that helps kind of keep your feet in place. You don't really have to worry about that much, because it seems as if New Balance has done a good job in terms of making sure that this is kind of the double layup section of things will really help keep your feet in place. But for those of you guys that are worried about your feet moving because the insole is not, staying in place, I guess the infinite grip will help kind of keep that in place. So as far as the insole go, that's pretty much all you get for the inside of the shoes, because that's pretty much all you get for it. Insole is very similar to the midsole is very similar to what you have on the Fuel Run. You have this section here, which seems as if it's some kind of material there, and in the forefront it seems as if it's some kind of leatherish material on the forefront of it. Not really leather, but some kind of different material on the forefront of it. And the back here is a bit of it's a bit smoother than it is on the front of the shoes. As far as the insole go, that's pretty much all you get for it. So now let's walk away to the outsole of the shoes and let's talk about it in detail. Okay, so for the outsole, in terms of the way the outsole look, it's very similar to the way this guy look here, which is the Fuel Run, except for the middle. You have a little bit of like stiffener bar here, or if that's what you want to call it. You have this bar, this little bump here. It's different from this guy, because this guy you have like 2 rows of like kind of bar here to help really keep that center kind of just in place, so it doesn't flex that much. But this guy, you have this bar right here, and that's the one different about the two. And for this one, pretty much all of it is bladed studs. This one is a bit interesting. It's not all bladed studs. It's like semi-bladed, semi-conical studs. So you have from the bottom to this section here, from the bottom to this section, you have something that looks like a conical studs, and then on the tip of it, you have a bladed, like a little leeway here that makes the tip of it a bladed studs. So you have a mix of interesting. That's pretty interesting. So you have a mix of like conical studs and bladed studs. So that's a huge difference between this guy and this guy. And of course, it's a nylon chassis. It's very similar to the same, not very similar, the same as the Fuel Run. Only thing that's different is the outsole, the pattern of the outsole here, where this stiffener bar is, and of course the semi-conical studs slash bladed studs that you have there. As far as the outsole go, that's pretty much all you get for it. The forefront of the shoes is very flexible. As you can see, I'm bending it. It's very flexible. Not so much the middle, and that's because of this guy right here. The middle is not that flexible. You can bend it as a whole, but you can see the major part that's bending is the forefront of the shoes, because that's the flexible part. And then the middle of it is not so flexible. And again, I don't want to take anything away from the shoes, because all in all, so far we haven't tried it on yet. It's a great looking shoes. It's a great shoes. But when you have something that has a little bit of a stiff upper and you have a little bit of a stiff outsole, which the forefront, I can't complain, is flexible to acceptable amount. I love it. I love the way the forefront flex. The middle, not so much. That was one of my biggest problem. Well, not my biggest, but that was one of the problems that I had with the original. I keep saying that, but that's true. It's the problem that I had with the original New Balance that was released, because the off was just a little bit. The up was stiff, the outsole was stiff, but they did an okay job making sure that this outsole here is just a little bit flexible, but it's not too flexible in the middle. They had their reason for doing that. They've done their studies. They've had a lot of people play with it, and they figure out like, okay, here's where a lot of people run. There's a little bit more flexibility is needed here, but it's not needed in the middle. But as far as the outsole go, that's pretty much what you get for it. As far as the boot go in general, that's pretty much what you get for it. We've taken the boot apart, we're breaking it, we've talked about it in detail, every part of it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to try it on to see how it feels on our feet. Okay guys, so a couple of things to keep in mind here is that the shoes feel very, very true to size. So as far as feel go and fit go, it feels extremely true to size. So if you're someone that likes your shoes or your boots pretty fitted, this is good. If you don't like it too fitted, I don't want to say it's too fitted, it's true to size. If you don't like it very true to size, then you might want to go a little bit of size up, but you don't need to really, because as I said, it's really true to size and it feels pretty well. So that's a plus there. Couple of things. One, it was very hard to put on, and of course this is expected because of the color. The shoe on helped a lot, but I wish they had some sort of like a little tiny thing on the back that allows you to pull the shoes up. It doesn't have that, so it was extremely hard for me to put the shoes on. It took a while for me to put it on. Taking it off is a lot more easier because you're just taking it off. Putting it on was a little bit harder. Another thing as well is that the upper feels a little bit stiff. It feels somewhat stiff. It's not stiff to the point that it makes it hard for you to play on the feel, but it's stiff enough for you to feel it. The first time I have it on, it's not stiff enough to restrict the movement of your feet inside, but again, it's stiff enough for you to feel it. And I think that it's just a matter of giving your feet some time to get used to it, maybe like 2-3 games, and your feet will get used to it. But that doesn't take anything away from the boot. It's stiff, you can feel it, but it's not stiff enough to cause any sort of interruption or anything like that. So as far as the boot go, guys, that's pretty much all you get for it. Thank you for watching the review video. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you have any question, hit the comment box below. As always, do not forget to stay geeking. I will see you guys on the next one. Peace. And check out the website if you want to see some pictures. Thank you. Next week. Peace.